techniques, was already published in 10 languages, and he was ready for another project. He had teased ancient secrets out of old manuscripts and discovered insights from several hundred genetic publications, but he wanted yet another new and unique leadership laboratory to learn what really does work. He listened to hundreds of motivational speakers and read as many of the 35,000 business books published annually as he could. But in the end, he found little that was unique or different. That all changed on a mountaineering expedition in the Andes as part of the Climb for Hope's fundraiser for breast cancer research at Johns Hopkins. The expedition was sponsored by Earth Treks, Chris's company. Don had pursued expeditions for years in the Himalayas, Africa, Indonesia, and other remote regions to advance his leadership research, but on this one he met expedition leader Chris Warner. Don recalls it this way. I really didn't know much about Chris. I was just extremely concerned about it being 5 degrees below zero and trying to climb ice at almost 20,000 feet on an active volcano. You could say I was preoccupied with just staying alive. But I noticed something about Chris and his team. They were tight, focused, and professional. They were also fresh off another expedition, which was a leadership development seminar for the Wharton School of Business. I asked Chris how he led teams like this in such extreme environments. He shared with me his experience of high-performance teams tackling the world's most forbidding mountains. He also told me about dysfunctional teams collapsing under the strain of the challenge. The consequences were always dramatic. After hearing him analyze these leadership experiences, I knew I found the laboratory for my next book. It would be on high-altitude leadership insights beyond what had typically been published, by studying those who lead teams in the riskiest and most extremely challenging situations encountered in death zone environments. I approached Chris about the idea of doing a book together, and he quickly jumped on it. We both were teaching the same things, but in different classrooms. Chris's story is different. He learned to lead the hard way. At age 18, he was taking teenagers out of the maximum security prison in New Jersey and leading them on 6-month rehabilitative wilderness adventures. After years of banging heads with delinquents, he rehabbed himself by becoming a mountaineering guide and entrepreneur. In 1990, he started Earth Treks with all the money he could scrape together, a whopping $592. Today, Earth Treks operates 3 of the nation's largest indoor climbing gyms, a rock and ice climbing school, and an international mountaineering guide service. Chris has led over 150 international mountaineering expeditions and is one of only 9 American climbers who have summited the world's 2 tallest mountains, Mount Everest and K2. Earth Trek's gross revenue has grown 300% in the past 3 years. It now has over 175 employees and serves tens of thousands of customers every year. It is one of the largest companies in a tough niche industry. With all of its peers being privately held corporations, it's impossible to tell where Earth Treks ranks, but with growth like this and earnings before interest, depreciation, and amortization above 20%, it's an admirable business to own. All this growth keeps happening, even though in 2000, Chris's employees commandeered his desk and unplugged his phone. They figured he wasn't using either. Based on this entrepreneurial success and Chris's international climbing reputation, Earth Treks was chosen in 2000 to guide leadership development expeditions for the Wharton School of Business. Each year, Earth Treks guides lead nearly 100 MBA candidates on mountaineering expeditions to the Andes and Africa. Chris's unique approach to leadership has led to a number of television projects. He guided the first reality TV show filmed on Mount Everest, hosted a leadership and risk-taking themed special for the History Channel, and most recently partnered with NBC to produce a film of his successful K2 expedition. Chris was the field producer and expedition leader, and, like everyone else on the small team, was a cameraman and climber-actor on this Emmy-nominated project. When Chris is in the country, he shares his tales of high-altitude leadership with Fortune 500 companies and business schools as a keynote speaker or part of longer workshops. For more than 25 years, Chris has been a student of leadership, a teacher of leadership, and a leader.